Hey everybody, in this video what we're going to do, and this is the AWS Terraform series, we're going to rename the new VPC that came into this account, because right now you can see there's no names. It doesn't have a name. There's no subnet names. There's no route table names. There's no internet gateway names. There's nothing. It's really unclear. If you handed this off to someone and said, "Hey, this is your account. I've set up the VPCs." They're not going to like this. It doesn't look good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and rename those. So the way to do that is with, I'm going to call this rename new account objects. We'll just call it that. Okay. So this is another thing that, it's just labor intensive to have to go into that new account and start naming everything. You're looking back at the old account, changing it, or not changing it, but just trying to copy the names. It's not fun. It's not something I would recommend. So what we're going to do is just name it through Terraform. And this was not real easy to find how to do this. So I hope this helps someone. So RAM subnet. So we're going to call this the provider. So we're going to set up a provider, right? Provider equals aws.prod, because we're working now in the prod account. Okay, so for each, we're going to do a for each AWS subnet dot private app subnet. That's what we want. Resource ID equals each dot value ID key equals name, and then the value equals each dot value dot tags name. Okay, so that is our RAM. That's our private app subnet. So we've named those. Let's go through and get the others. So we should be able to just do some copy paste here without too much trouble. Control V, RAM subnet, and I'll call this public. And we're going to change this to public subnet. And everything else is the same. There's nothing else different, because we're just going through and grabbing the name for each of those. Okay, so that looks good. And RAM subnet private data. That's what we're going to do next. So I could have called this one, it doesn't really matter, but let's just do this right. Private app. Just so we're clear on what we're doing here. So private data subnet. Okay. All right, so that's good. Now let's name the actual VPC because we don't have that yet. It's going to be very similar. So let's just copy. Well, we have one copied. We should just be able to do this. Control V. Okay, EC2 RAM. We'll call this one RAM underscore VPC. Now this, of course, is not going to be a for each. We only have the one VPC. And so this should be resource ID should be, let's find that. So that should be AWS underscore VPC main VPC dot ID. All right, I think that is right. So we've got the VPCs. Okay, so let's Control S. Let's just run. Let's run what we've got so far and make sure that this is making sense. So far we haven't removed everything, so we still have all of this. This is our account. This is our new account. No name on the VPC. Let's see. Each dot value. Let's see what we've got wrong here. Error on 110. Yeah. That's my VPC, right? Yeah, because I just copied this. I can't do that. So this should be AWS VPC main VPC dot tags and then name. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's run a Terraform plan on this. I think this should work. It's adding 7. Okay, 2. And you'll notice, right, the provider is AWS prod, so that's going to go back to this provider. AWS alias prod, US East 1, prod 01. So that's this account, the account that has no name. That's why we need to do this. Let's apply this. So what we should see, if this works, is a name here. And there it is. So now it's copied the name over to here. Look at our subnets. The names are over here. Perfect. We know what they all are. Very, very nice. And route tables, still don't have them. So let's do the route tables. Oh, it's not the right, not this one. Let's go back to main. And we have okay, where was I? I put it in the variables. Wow, how about that? Yeah, that's a mistake. But you can see it's reading all those TF files, so I'm going to cut that. Go to main and put it in there. So it really didn't make much of a difference. And you put it wherever you want. So we could create a new file here. And that might be a good idea, to create a new file just to define all this, because this file is pretty long at this point. But that's certainly an option. You can do that. All right, so now we're going to go into the routes. All right, so the routes are going to be similar to, pretty similar to what we have with the VPCs, because remember there are a bunch of these. So resource, and this is going to be, again, AWS EC2 tag. So that is what we're going to do. And the name of this one, RAM route private app. And our provider, again, AWS.prod. So we got our provider, and then we're going to do a for each, because these tables for the private app there's two of them. That's why we have to do it like this. So AWS route table RT-private app. That is correct. And our resource ID is going to equal each dot value ID. And our key equals name. And the value equals each dot value dot tags, and the tag that we're looking for is name. All right, so that is that. That looks good. So that's our private app. We have two of those. So resource, AWS, EC2 tag. And this is going to be RAM route public. Okay, RAM route public. Again, the provider, AWS.prod, because we're doing this to the prod account, and we can do that with SSO. It allows us to do that, to select the other account pretty easily. Resource ID, AWS route table dot RT dash public dot ID, because we need the ID. So we got the resource ID. We got the key equals, it's going to be name, and the value, key value, equals AWS underscore route table RT public dot tags, and we're going to pull that tag name, which is name. All right. So let's just copy that, because that's going to be very much similar to the private data. So, okay, so RAM route private data. Private data. AWS prod, that's right. Route table is going to be RT private data. And that's again .id, because we're looking for a resource ID. Key value is name. RT dash private data dot tags, and again, whoops, not that. Oh, stop. And then name here. Okay, so now Control S, save it. Let's go down here. We're going to do a Terraform plan. Duplicate resource configuration. Duplicate configuration. Oh, okay, so I did not save the variables yet because I accidentally added it. So it kind of screamed at me there. So 4 to add, right? So we've just added, remember, 2 for the private app, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this should rename these route tables so they're clearer. So let's do that. And that should be done. Let's go back here. This is our prod account. And it has named. So the same name that was in this account is over here given to this name. So it just is basically copying the names. That's what this EC2 tag does. It copies it from this resource ID. I'm giving a key name of name and a value from this object and giving it the name there. So that's how you can do it. Internet gateways, you can do a similar thing if you want to name those. You can also do it with NAT gateways, which we do not see in here. But we do see the, do we see the IGW? We do see the Internet Gateway. Chris Org Prod VPC. NAT gateways we don't see. And that's fine. Transit gateways. We don't see those. And we don't see those. So that is all that we need to do. The only other thing you'd want to name probably would be the Internet Gateway. But that should be good for now. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to destroy this just to not incur too many charges here. So it's going to go through and destroy all of that infrastructure. So while it's doing that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please subscribe. And let me know if you have any questions, comments. Let me know. Thanks.